Salutations, fellow nerds. I'm Rick Y, the Wise Guy, and today is December 23rd, 2024. Apparently, the House Ethics Committee is going to be releasing the entirety of their findings on Matt Gaetz, and CBS recently dropped some deets. So if you're into news, history, and Americana, make sure you like and subscribe. I'd be much obliged. Also, I do want to provide somewhat of a trigger warning on this because this one gets a little grimy. So to those of you whom this may affect in a negative way, or if you are not in the position to hear potentially abusive behavior, I won't ever judge you for not viewing this one. By all means, skip it if you have to. Matt Gaetz was a representative in Congress for the state of Florida with whom he had plenty of reports of truly abhorrent behavior for a grown man, let alone member of our legislative branch. Everything from the use of drugs to illicit behavior with minors were all around the media beltways for quite some time. One of his good friends is actually still sitting in prison as we speak because of this very thing. Some of the other things to remember are his nomination for Trump's attorney general. And luckily that was scrapped, and now one of the Florida's most corrupt attorneys, Pam Bondi, is coming in to take that helm. However, that didn't keep from Republicans within the House and others who knew of the contents within the ethics findings not giving two shits about it. Take J.D. Vance, for example. They actually circled the wagons around his nomination and did everything they could to keep it quiet, to include the speaker, which was another part of this ordeal that bugs the hell out of me. Mike Johnson has sold himself to the entire world as probably the most pious man on Capitol Hill. He gives a very Stephen Colbert vibe if Stephen Colbert chose to be a member of the cloth. In fact, he's so weird about it that he made sure that his daughter pledged her virginity to him and has a pact, and he also has a pact with his son that snitches on them if they consume pornography. These YouTube rules are going to kill me. Yet, regardless of these super Christian values, he not only called for the release of the Ethics Committee's findings to stay behind lock and key, but further endorsed Matt Gaetz for Attorney General. So now that we know what the leaders of the Law and Order and Family Values Party were willing to do for the man, what exactly did CBS publish about him that was easy to overlook so as to place him at the head of our Department of Justice? Let's take a look. Matt Gaetz' ethics report says his drug use and sex with a minor violated state laws. Uh-oh. This looks like it's gonna get grimy. Strap down those bootstraps, y'all. The committee determined there is substantial evidence that Representative Gaetz violated House rules and other standards of conduct prohibiting prostitution, statutory rape, illicit drug use, impermissible gifts, special favors or privileges, and obstruction of Congress. It goes on to detail how Matt Gaetz paid more than $90,000 to 12 separate ladies for their services. The biggest problem is the witness who claimed that while she was 17 and a junior in high school, Matt Gaetz gave her $400 in cash after having sexual intercourse with him. While the Justice Department did investigate this matter, they ended up not bringing charges against him. Again, how his friend and a major contributor in all of this is locked up, but Gaetz isn't, who knows? I can only speculate. One of the primary pieces to this, it would seem, is that she didn't divulge her age to Matt Gaetz at the time, which provided him probably some substantial plausible deniability, I'm assuming. Also, the women who testified under oath did mention having engaged in these activities consensually, but given the amount of chemicals that were in their systems, it was difficult for them to determine whether they could have even given consent. One even stated that she had felt violated. But it also goes on to detail how he had his chief of staff provide a passport to a woman after having sex with him, and falsely reported to the State Department her status as a constituent. Yet again, another MAGA member embroiled in sexual misconduct and pay-to-play schemes. This is exactly what his voters said they wanted to get rid of, and it would seem as though he's all but empowering these people without a second thought. Matt Gaetz has done the most noble thing, and he's suing to have the full release of it completely blocked, and openly calling the bipartisan ethics report on his behavior a smear campaign. Luckily, he has already resigned his seat in Congress, but if the report highlights potential crimes that Matt Gaetz engaged in without it yet having been reported to law enforcement, this whole ordeal may yet very well be just getting started. But beyond the legal ramifications, we need to figure out why a party of people who are so intrinsically tied to Christianity and family values was widely against the world knowing of this man's disgusting behavior. It's reminiscent of how evangelicals straight up ignored and excused every unbelievably sinful thing Donald Trump did. It further exemplifies this ideal of rules for thee, not for me, and the premise that Republicans actually want to rule. They don't have any motivation in actually representing you or governing with any cohesion or competency. They're a fraudulent gang of grifters who want celebrity, not responsibility. Also, understand that Gaetz used tax dollars to pay some of these women off, which means his constituents were actually funding the bill for his purely transactional relations. Personally, I hope somebody calls Madison Cawthorn back, and he and Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz all get together and start whistleblowing all the public shit that's been going on behind closed doors. That'd be a lot of fun. These people are making some of the worst names for Christians. And one of the most frustrating aspects to all of this is how quickly so many were willing to just completely let go of their morals and thought processes to empower a person that encompasses every quality of what they call the Antichrist, and it's detailed in their own damn book. This is a continuing pattern of people allowing others to exploit their faith and beliefs so they can turn a blind eye and let them consolidate power. And the only way that we can make sure these weasels stay the hell out of the chicken coop is if we stay informed, stay engaged, and stay decent. Until next time. Y'all come back now. You hear?